In my last video, I talked about businesses you can start from home, and I mentioned spices business in that video. And today I want to talk about how to start a spices business in depth. Like I want to give you step by step guide on how to start a spices business. If this is something that you're interested, now you have to keep on watching. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria. If you're new here, I recommend you watch this video from start to finish because you are going to be learning a lot from this video. Now, if you're looking to starting a spices business, the first thing you have to know is you need to make research. You need to know what the business entails. You have to do your own due diligence and research what it means and everything it takes to start up a spices business. If you're watching this video, that means you are actually finding out, doing what you need to do to learn about starting this business. So yes, you are on the right track. Now, when you're finding out about what this spices business entails, you should also find out the types of spices. What type of spices do you want to sell? There are a number of spices in the market. There is rosemary, flaxseed, turmeric, there is cinnamon, star anise. There is a lot of spices in the market. So you are going to determine what type of spices do you want to sell, because you cannot sell everything, at least for a start. What are the spices you want to start with? Do you want to start with black pepper? Do you want to There are number of spices out there in the market. Okay, so you are going to find out what type of spices you want to sell. Apart from figuring out what type of spices you want to sell, you also have to put into consideration the type of spices that is in demand in the area where you are. Because if you want to start up a business, you must make sure that the business you want to start is meeting a need. Are people demanding for these spices? Not that you go and start a spices business that nobody is buying, nobody is looking for. Okay, you have to look and see what type of spices are people looking for, what type of spices are in demand in the area where you are. The next thing to do is to raise capital. Do you want to borrow from your family and friends? Do you want to get a grant? Do you want to get a loan? Personally, I do not recommend borrowing money from the bank to start up a business, because there will be so much pressure. But if you can handle the pressure, you can borrow money to start up a business. But for me, what I would recommend is get a grant, get a loan from family and friends, not from bank, because the interest rates from bank will be too high for you to meet up as a small business. Borrow from your family, borrow from your friend, get a grant if you can. But if there is no way anywhere you can get any loan or from family, and the only way is to get a loan from a bank, and you know that you can withstand the pressure from the bank, then I would say go right ahead and get a loan from the bank to start up your business. Next thing you have to do is to get the equipment that you need to run this business. Now, what are these equipment you need to start up a spices business? The first equipment you need is a dehydrator. What is a dehydrator? A dehydrator is a machine that you use to dehydrate your spices. If they are wet, you need to dehydrate them. You need to dry them before you blend them. Okay, you will need a dehydrator. If you don't know what a dehydrator is, this is your assignment. Go and research, go to Google and search dehydrator, what is used for and how is used. The first equipment you will need is a dehydrator to dry your spices if they are wet, because before you blend your spices, they have to be dry so that they don't get spoiled quickly. Okay, first thing is dehydrator. The second equipment you will need is a grinder. A grinder is very important because the grinder is what you are going to be using to grind your spices. Take for instance, if you want to sell black pepper, you have to grind your black pepper into powder form. That is if you want to sell in powder form. And if you want to sell it whole like that, you can still package it whole and sell like that. Okay, but you need a grinder to grind all your spices, your pepper, your black pepper, your flaxseed, your cinnamon, your clove. You need a grinder to, grind all the spices. The third equipment you need to start this business is a sieving machine or a sieving basket. If you do not have enough capital to get a sieving machine, you can get a sieving basket. For after you dry and blend your spices, you have to sieve, the spices into powder form to take out any lumps, okay, from the grinded spices. So sieving machine or a sieving basket is very, very important for spices business. Another equipment you will need in starting this business is packaging container. Now, you are going to, before now, you must have, determined and concluded on the type of packaging you want your spices to have. Do you want it to be in containers? Do you want it to be in bags, in bags, in Ziploc form bags? You are going to be the one to make that decision. Where, how do you want your spices to be packaged? If you want it in container, then you are going to go to the market and buy your containers, how you want your spices to be packed. Another thing you will need is a sealing machine. A sealing machine is not very expensive to get. You can get a portable small sealing machine for a start that you can use to seal your spices after packaging. Another thing you will need is label. You will need a label for your spices, a label that contains the name of your business, the name of the spice, when it's packaged, and when it will expire. That is very, very important to, include that on the label, when it was packaged and when it will expire. This is very, very important when you're preparing your label. After you have gotten all the necessary equipment and materials you need to start your business, the next thing you have to do is to go to the market. If you're in Lagos and you're looking to starting a spices business and you don't know where to buy from, there are two places I can recommend for you to buy, because these places are where you will buy in wholesale price. The first place I would recommend is called Ile-Epo in Lagos State, Nigeria. The second place is called Oyingbo Market. These two markets, no matter any spice you are looking for, you are going to get them in these markets. There are other small markets where they sell spices, but the only thing is, when you go to this market, you are not going to get them in large quantity. You are not going to get them in wholesale prices that will enable you to sell and make profits. So that is why I'm saying, if you want to sell, you have to go to a place where you can buy in wholesale that will enable you sell retail and make profit for yourself. Like I said, the market you should look out for or you should go to is Oyingbo Market and Ile-Epo Market. Now, I would recommend, if you're new to these places, go with a friend, go with a brother, go with a sister, go with someone. Don't go alone. If it's your first time of going to this market, go with somebody. Now, after buying, the next thing you want to do is to process your spice. If the spices you want to sell them whole. You want to sell them whole, you don't want to blend them. What you need to do is to wash them and dehydrate them. After you dehydrate them, you leave them to cool down. You don't package them hot. You leave them to dry properly. You leave them to cool down, and then you package, put in your label and seal. But if you want to sell grinded spices, after washing and dehydrating, You now, go further to blend them, to grind them. After grinding, you sieve, sieve out the, lumpy ones, and then the powder ones is what you now start to package. After packaging, you seal, and your product is ready. Now, if you're just starting up your business, it's okay to start small. It's okay to start small. But if you want to scale up this business, you will have to register your business with the CAC, the Corporate Affairs Commission here in Nigeria. You need to register your business. You need to get NAFDAC registration number. These are the requirements for you to really scale your business. After you have done all this, you have to have a marketing strategy. What is the marketing strategy you will need to sell your spices? Apart from you going to stores to supply your spices to store owners so that they can sell your product in their stores, there is also something you can do. You can create an Instagram account. You can create a social media page where you create content about your spices, create behind the scenes content, the process of making your spice, show the people the process of packaging your spice, to make them understand that you are very meticulous, you are very careful with your production process, for them to see what you do, right? That will encourage them to buy from you. You can also take the sample of your products to restaurants and hotels for them to try. If they like it, before you know, they'll ask you to start supplying to them. Before you know, you are in business. That way, people will know what you do. People will trust your brand. Before you know, a lot of people will start referring you to their, friends, to their friends abroad, to their friends in Lagos, to their friends everywhere, for you to start supplying. The important thing is for you to be strategic. Don't just, you know, produce this product and say, oh, okay, yeah, it will sell itself. It will not sell itself if you don't market it. You have to market properly. You have to take your products to restaurants. You have to take your products to supermarkets, take your product to stores, take your products to hotels. Let people be aware of what you sell, and before you know, they will begin to buy from you. Also bear in mind that packaging is very, very important when it comes to the product you are selling. Now, your packaging is what is going to impact how people see your brand. If you want your brand to be seen as, or your brand to be perceived as a luxury brand, you have to work hand in hand with a graphic designer to create a very appealing, luxurious packaging for your brand, so that you are intentional about how you want your product to be perceived in the marketplace. I hope this video helps someone out there today. If you like me to talk about any other business I mentioned in my last video, kindly leave it in the comment section and I will come and do a detailed video about any of these businesses. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section and I will be right there to answer all your questions. Till I see you in my next video, my name is Gloria. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.